Hello, everybody. I'm Frank Stanisci, NLL Lacrosse Talk. Welcome to the Spanglish World Network on Zingo TV channel 250. Please remember to download the Zingo TV app at the respective app stores for iOS and Android devices. While you download, make sure you rate and leave a comment. Both apps are absolutely free. It's also available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire TV sticks, Roku sticks, and also on all smart TVs 2016 forward. Now on Lacrosse Talk, as well as our co-host Gary Groob, our very special guest today is Rosie. Nick Rose of the Toronto Rock. Well, whenever you hear that chant, does it get old for you?
No, it definitely doesn't get old. Don't always kind of hear it in game when the game's going on, just because focused is stopping the ball. But no, it's obviously great to have fans cheering your name at any time.
The first question we always ask is, what put the stick in your hand? Why did you end up with a stick in your hand?
Just from being from Orangeville, growing up there. It's a huge lacrosse town, and it's just kind of what we do at 3-4 years old. Parents just put their kids in lacrosse and hockey in the winter, and yeah, grow up with all your best friends and just play the game. And I've been playing since I was 3, so yeah, I guess just it's just how we do things in Orangeville. Really is what it comes down to.
I guess this is really the last question we should ask, but I'll ask it first because I want to set the kind of tone that we're talking about here, the game of lacrosse. You're probably one of the best people to speak to about loyalty, family, and giving back to the game. You've had an opportunity to get very close to the Toronto Rock, and you work very closely with Jamie, and speak to those aspects of lacrosse, which I think are some of the strongest things that make it so attractive.
Yeah, I mean, this game and especially the NLL can take you a lot of places, whether actual cities or opportunities. And yeah, obviously, about 10, 11 years ago, I got the opportunity to get traded to the Rock, and my relationship with Jamie has obviously grown immensely since the first time I walked in to this organization. So I think just kind of comes down to I know what he's about, he knows what I'm about, and we kind of got the same goals. And obviously, we are going to keep fighting to bring a championship home to this franchise. But even more so than that, it has quickly kind of become like a family off the floor. I've obviously seen his kids grow up here as well at the track through our various programs and leagues, and gotten to know them, and they're kind of like little brothers as well. So yeah, it's definitely a big family aspect here, and yeah, it's been a great experience so far.
How do you enjoy giving back?
Obviously, we do a lot of stuff here at the track, programs that we offer kids. It's always fun to, whether you're coaching or behind the scenes, kind of helping put together what the program looks like. We just finished the Junior NLL tournament here this past weekend, and it's always a fun weekend. You get to see kind of kids coming in from different cities of the NLL and get to see the track for the first time. I'm sitting here at the track right now, but it's a lot quieter now than it was all weekend. But yeah, no, it's always great to be able to work and coach with kids and be involved in the game in any capacity.
It's sort of retirement before retirement.
Yeah, it's just fun to stay involved and do different things. Obviously, it's great playing, but I also enjoy coaching and doing the GM thing and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's been a really good experience.
Now, more in-depth questions. Brace yourself. Gary, go ahead.
Well, we're talking about Orangeville to start with, and you're one of the few people that can answer it from both ends of the spectrum here, both as a player and as management. What makes Orangeville so special? Because when we're talking to a lot of your teammates and a lot of other guys who are in the league, they put that almost more importantly than getting drafted to the NLL, being part of the Junior A team. So what is that factor?
Yeah, I just think with growing up in Orangeville, obviously, it just kind of the history and tradition that's gotten passed down through each generation. When I was growing up, grew up with like the 90s junior A team, which won a few Minto Cups. I was a ball boy there with those guys, and then getting a chance to play with like Josh Sanderson, Bruce Codd, who I watched obviously win in the 90s and grew up idolizing, and obviously I have a chance to play for Brucey now with the Rock, and Rusty Kruger, who was a captain back in the day, and all those guys are still involved with the Northmen at multiple levels. Like Kruger's our head coach with the junior A's. Brucey was for a long time, and now he's like this past summer he kind of took on the task of starting the girls box lacrosse program. So it's definitely I think how much everybody gives back, and obviously we got great coaching at every level when a bunch of NLL guys are willing to kind of volunteer their time in the summertime. So we definitely got a good thing going with all the people giving back, and I'm hoping that doesn't slow down anytime soon.
Now, when you got rolling, you're world-class goalie now, listed number 3 overall. Were you always a goalie?
I've been a box goalie, I think, since I was about 5 or 6. So I played a few years as a player. Yeah, I think I've told this story lots of times. Like when you're that young, the team just kind of rotates, gives everybody a chance to play goalie. And I think the first time I really did not like it. I think I was in tears on the way home, and then for whatever reason, when it came back around, I really had a lot of fun. Maybe we lost the first game and won the second game or something. I don't know, but yeah, then it just kind of stuck as what I wanted to do in box. But I was always an attackman in field lacrosse. I stopped playing when I was about 20 years old or whatever. So I did enjoy scoring goals in field, but yeah, I've been a box goalie for most of my career, and in box.
Because I've watched you track, with a regular stick, and you've got a hell of a shot. So that didn't just develop just because, right?
Yeah, no, I used to be a rink rat and go over to the arena in Orangeville, obviously, and during the day shoot around and play around with my buddies and that kind of stuff. And like I said, I did play attack and field, so I was always working on my shot while also trying to be a goalie.
Right. Now, you added to the legacy out there. You won a Minto Cup in 2009. Let's talk about the team. Let's talk about that era itself.
Yeah, no, it was obviously awesome. We had a great group. Not pump our tires, but we won in 2008 as well out in Calgary. 09 in Brampton was a special year. That was my last year of junior A. So kind of last chance to wear the Northman jersey, actually. Like you never know if a senior team or whatever would pop up, but yeah, 2009 was the last time I got to play as a Northman, and it was super special. We had a great team, obviously winning the year before, but Brampton, I think we played Brampton 13 times that summer with a 7-game series in the Ontario finals, regular season, every possible game at the Minto Cup because they were hosting. So it was a battle against those guys, but it was nice to win it basically as close to home as you can.
Definitely. And you got a chance to relive it a couple of years ago with 2019, winning it now in management as, I guess, assistant GM at that point, right?
Yeah, no, it was a great experience. Had been an assistant GM for a long time. We went out west, same place, to Langley in 2016, and came up real short of the ultimate goal of the Minto in overtime of the deciding game. Kind of ran into the start of Del Bianco's fame or run, I guess, as a championship goalie. He kind of stole that Minto from us in 16, and then we were able to get back there in 2019. Had a grueling playoffs here in Ontario, and then we went out there and got it done, and was real happy for that group of guys that were able to do it.
Absolutely. And it's year after year. There's just the talent level out in Orangeville is immense. This year, undefeated through the regular season, and really just hit a hot team at the wrong time. But, it was another exceptional year. And this year, as you being a full general manager this time around, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a great season. Haven't really dissected everything that kind of went wrong yet in the Ontario finals. Obviously, Burlington Blaze were full value. They played an unbelievable series, and like you said, kind of ran into the wrong team at the wrong time. And we definitely thought that we had the squad to go out to Edmonton and capture the Minto Cup, but I think that kind of shows how tough it really is to win the Minto Cup. So hopefully we'll be back. We were fairly young, but I love the guys we got, every single one of them, and hopefully the returning guys will be able to be champions before their junior career is done. But it was a really good summer that I think we'll look back once kind of the pain of losing the Ontario finals goes away with a lot of pride on.
I think so. It was a fantastic year. You hold your head up with that. First team ever to go undefeated, I believe, too, through the season. So it's a pretty immense thing. You get drafted 2008 by Toronto, but you play your first game in Boston in 2010. My question, as it is to a lot of the guys who start, is was it what you expected when you first got up to the NLL level?
I'm not really sure what I expected at the time. I kind of made a decision after we won the Minto in 08 to enter the draft, not really knowing how things worked or kind of who'd be interested or whatever, and um, entered the draft and then got picked up by Toronto in the third round, and obviously found out that there's tryouts, training camp, all that, and went out with them and didn't have a great showing at camp, so I got released after 3 weekends, I think, and then was luckily kind of had some buddies in Boston with the expansion team there, and they put in a good word for me to at least get me a weekend of a tryouts, and I was a lot better out in Boston than I was with Toronto that training camp, so they took a shot on me and brought me in as their third goalie for the season, and I moved down there. I got to live with a bunch of the teammates there, and really get to know the guys. And I used to take a lot of shots out there every other day or whatever, just getting ripped on by the guys that were local, and yeah, it really helped me kind of understand what the league was about and what it takes to kind of get ready. And then first year there, I didn't dress, and then the following year, we did have Anthony Cosmo and Mike Poulin as our goalies there, so two pretty good goalies in front of me, and then Poulin obviously got traded to Calgary, and then I came back up to Cos. So yeah, Boston was a awesome experience. I hope that city comes back at some point. It's one of the best cities I've been around. So
Yeah, that was just an arena deal because they had the crowds, they had the people, they had the heat was there, and they had a great team. Just arena deals, just
yeah,
semantic.
it's a great sports city, obviously, and yeah, it would be a good one to get back for sure.
Absolutely. You move on to Calgary, and you're backing up to Poulin again. You do get into a couple of games that year. I think 5 games you got into. I think one of them was even against Toronto, if I remember right. But
Yeah.
it really was your first time really to get your feet wet in the league. How was the experience?
Yeah, it was a great experience. I was actually playing summer ball out in BC for a few summers while that kind of happened, ending up in Calgary. So I was living in BC and flying in from there, nice short flight, and um, another team with a bunch of great guys, and obviously one of the more historic franchises in our league. And yeah, I was there for half a year after getting picked up in the dispersal draft, and yeah, I just got my feet wet with a few kind of situations where I had to go in where Pooley either got pulled or nicked up or whatever. But um, yeah, I didn't really take that opportunity and run with it there. Still kind of understanding what it took, and then we also had I think a rookie, Frank Shalano. He got the opportunity to dress. I think we were in Everett at the time when the Stealth were there, and they kind of wanted to have him back up because it was obviously close to home in BC for his family to watch him, and then he ended up going in and standing on his head and getting us a big team win. So was happy for him taking that opportunity and run, but I think the Roughnecks kind of realized that they might have something in him, which they obviously did, and
Right.
a trade kind of got worked out with Toronto pretty quickly after that, just with some of the people I knew in the Rock organization, obviously Terry Sanderson being the main one.
Yeah, definitely. We look at that time, and it was a weird time in Toronto because Whipper had just retired, and they had tried Matt Royk, and that experiment wasn't working out very well. So timing is everything. And I remember Terry, I talked to him just after you got traded, and he raved about your passing ability, that you could thread a needle halfway down the floor, all the way down wherever he needed to put it. And he would be exceptional in that. And I was in Rochester for your first game. And it was kind of funny because the next day there was a season ticket holder party, so you got to be introduced to the entire season ticket holder zone. But that game, you look great. You look like you belonged in there, and the team relaxed for the first time all year, and actually played their game, and won. Coming into Toronto and with familiar faces, especially with Terry, was it easier to get adjusted?
Yeah, I think. I don't know. It was obviously a long time ago, but looking back on it, I kind of got a call from T, and he just said, "Look, like we have this trade," because I was living in BC and working at a sports store out there, and obviously would have to make the decision to move back home and that kind of stuff. So he just kind of told me, "Look, we have a trade worked out with Calgary to bring you into the Rock organization, and it's totally up to you if you wanted to take this and run." And he said, if we're doing it, you're a guy and you're starting on Saturday. And so obviously it was an opportunity I couldn't pass up on. And then I think we had a practice when I flew in the night I flew in, and kind of seemed like the team was in the middle of kind of doing some soul searching a little bit. And I remember there was kind of went around the room and all the guys were just talking about what the game and the team means to them. And then I think T or Troy were going to just kind of like skip me because I hadn't been around. But I did kind of say something just about how excited I was to be with them. And we had actually just played them with Calgary or whatever. So I just said, this seems like a resilient group, and you guys came back and beat us in Calgary, and I think this has a great makings of a championship contender, and yeah, I think just everybody was kind of calm for the rest of the regular season. Like it wasn't like it was come in here, and while there was definitely pressure on me and the team, it felt like there really wasn't when we were actually playing the game. So we had a good end of the regular season, and then I think we beat Buffalo in the first round and ran into the start of the Rochester dynasty in the semis. So it was awesome coming to the Rock, and that first year was memorable.
That's a couple of boxes that you've checked, in deciding to come to Toronto. Sorry, Gary. Tell us a little bit, get inside the decision. We underestimate, people are unaware sometimes, or people in lacrosse know that where you live and where you play, it's very, very tied. It's very important. How important, if you wouldn't mind, help us get inside your head when that decision-making process was? How important was it to come here specifically, or specifically play for Toronto?
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, I was living out in BC at the time, but obviously I'm a very much an Eastern boy, and from Orangeville and Ontario, just to take that opportunity to get back to the Rock. Obviously, I got drafted to the Rock, and things didn't really go as planned to start there. But when I got drafted there, I knew it was just a place I grew up. Obviously, watching the team. Me and my mom had season tickets, went to all the championships, and yeah, when you think of the NLL, you can't think of any other team than the Toronto Rock to begin, in my opinion. And yeah, just to be able to play for this franchise, and as long as I have, extremely grateful for it. But yeah, we're just always trying to kind of find ways to get better. But yeah, being an Eastern boy, it was important for me to come back home and not kind of be all over North America for for most of my career.
Yeah, it's something that we always, and I think it's becoming even more important where a player lives and where he plays, because there's more places now that players are coming from.
Yeah, we obviously have a lot more Americans coming in the league, and it's great for the game and for the league. And yeah, anytime a player kind of has a chance to obviously be more comfortable and be closer to friends and family, I think most guys will take that opportunity. But obviously, it doesn't always work out that way. But I'm glad that it's worked out like that for me.
Now, over your decade plus with the Rock, you've been here through some of the greatest times, and you've been here through some of the not so great times. Let's talk about the organization as a whole and its development over the time that you've been here, from when you first got here to more or less where you are now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't know. I'd be guessing at how many Eastern finals we've been to since I've been here. We've been on the cusp a lot of winning the championship. Obviously, we lost in 2015 after a great regular season, and then we've also had a couple years where I think we've had two where we've missed the playoffs, which are the only times in franchise history. And um, obviously, some tough losses, even back to last year against Buffalo. Obviously, um, not how you want your season to end, but when you look back at it, like in the Eastern Finals again, we do kind of still feel like we're right there with all the contenders. And um, anytime anytime you're part of a franchise that gets to that point, or at least has a chance to be playing for a championship year in and year out, it's obviously a great situation to be in. And we think we do things the right way here, and sometimes, obviously, championships and all that aside, we like the group we have in general with coming into this next season. And
Mm-hmm.
our management and coaches are always going to put us in the best position to have a chance to win night in and night out. So I do think we're one of the premier franchises here in the NLL still, even though haven't had a championship since I guess 2011. But we like to believe that one's coming here sooner than later, and we just kind of got to find a way to get over that hump. But I'm not sure if that's kind of what you were looking for in terms of like development of the franchise. But
Well, yeah, and the other thing is really, there's a lot of decent franchises out there. What do you think sets it apart? That, in my opinion, the Toronto Rock are probably right up here as being one of the best organizations that a player would want to come to. What do you think is the it factor that really sets it aside?
well, yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Starts at the top with obviously our team owner Jamie Dalwick. Obviously, me and him have a great relationship and always have. But even with new guys coming in, and obviously you're not going to have the same team every season. You're going to have trades and free agents and that kind of stuff. And he does a really good job of making everybody feel like family right away, and doing things the right way, taking care of the players all the time. And yeah, I think it starts with him and then trickles down through the rest of the organization, and just how we do things. And
Yeah, I think
obviously,
he's kind of growing with the role too, because when Terry passed suddenly, he was left holding everything and really had to learn the role as well as become very good at it too. And I think he's grown with it just like all of you guys have grown.
yeah, it's obviously a learning process for him, but I do think he took in a lot of kind of how T operated, and how he made decisions. And obviously, Terry was extremely successful in his NLL career in management and coaching and that kind of stuff. So um, he was a great guy for Jamie to kind of take some of that from. But no, obviously Jamie, he wants to win as bad as any of us. But I know at the end of the day, he does all this for us, for the players, and yeah, I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. He obviously built this world class facility as well to help grow the game in Ontario, which has definitely done that over the last 11 years. I think we've been open. So, it starts with him and trickles down. And obviously, what we were talking about, where people are from, we have a lot of Ontario guys, right? So, a lot of guys would have grown up watching the Rock Championship teams, just like myself. So, it's definitely a destination franchise for a lot of guys.
Sometimes it's not all about winning. It's about having the hope of winning. As long as you have the hope, it keeps you going, right, Nick?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think any of us would be doing that if obviously there's quite a few of us that have been free agents over the last couple of years. Like if we didn't think that we had a chance to win year in and year out here, then maybe it would be time to move on both ways, from the franchise side and from the player side. But we truly all do believe that we're going to have a shot to get this done here, and we just kind of got to find a way to play our best lacrosse at the end of the year instead of kind of in the middle and heading into playoffs. We want to be playing our best lacrosse into May and June.
Now, talk a little bit about your own personal stats. Working with Brandon Miller, I noticed a huge impact in your game from the time he came in as your teammate as well as your coach. Describe the relationship that you guys have had over the years and how it's helped your game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when we traded for B, there was some questions, kind of who'd be the starter and all that kind of stuff. But I think just with my relationship, like, he coached me when I was growing up. He's not that much older than me, but he's older enough where he was giving back in Orangeville, like we talked about, and coaching me. And he's another guy I looked up to immensely with the Northmen, and watch him in junior A, and one of my favorite goalies early on in the NLL when I was watching. And then when he got traded to us, it was never really like a situation where like some teams kind of have a bad situation with two good goalies or whatever. We really pushed each other, and it was more we kind of knew, obviously. It was fully on the coach's decision who'd be starting each night, and obviously 2015 is probably the one year look back at where we lost in the championship, where we were basically rotating games, and both of us were kind of playing some of our best lacrosse in our career and really pushing each other, being happy for each other, and supporting the team, and obviously trying to win. And we came up a bit short, but I do think it was a great few seasons where, kind of going back and forth of just trying to elevate each other's games. And then obviously he's a really good guy and great lacrosse mind. And Jamie brought him back in as goalie coach. And he does a lot of video with myself. Last year and the year before, he does a lot for I think for our offensive guys as well. He breaks down other goalies that we're playing against, so they can kind of see some of their weaknesses a little bit clearer than maybe if they're just watching on their own. So he's been a great asset to the organization as a player and as a coach. So looking forward to kind of getting back to the drawing board here in a few months with him.
Sure. It almost looks as though you've gotten more agile. You know, most of us, as we're getting older, we're not getting so agile. You've gotten more agile in the net, and some of the saves that you've pulled out over the last couple of years have just been heart-stopping, crazy saves that, you know, it's not usually angle goalies that are making these saves. Those are the reflex guys, the Del Biancos in it. But you've gotten into that now as well.
Yeah, I just think from that comes with experience playing in the NLL. I'll start to understand, obviously your angle is a bit better, and kind of don't like having to make too many of those kind of saves, but usually even for the smaller agile guys, it usually means you're out of position a little bit or have to kind of make a miracle rebound save or that kind of stuff. But it probably just comes with kind of working on it over the years. Obviously, I know I'm a bigger guy and I like to take my angles away, and but at this level, you still got to be able to move well and actually go make saves. So yeah, it's probably just working on it. I play in the summer all the time too, so I'm always playing lacrosse and trying to understand what I'm able to do out there, and then also what shooters are able to do as well.
Sure.
Nick, when you're playing goal, when you first came, if we can go back to how you started as a goaltender, help us understand how important is. We hear about it all the time that sometimes youth has to give way to experience, and there's sort of a transition from using your, as Gary was referring to, reflex, athletic ability, and then the mental part of the game. How important is it, the experience? Because it sounds like your career gets better because of the experience. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, no, absolutely experience. Obviously, with being a goaltender, there's a lot of different aspects that kind of go into being a top one in the world. Obviously, when I was in junior, so we talked about the Minto Cups. Like in 2008, Junior A played on the 4x4 net, so like the smallest, like what the minor kids still use today.
Mm-hmm.
Then 2009, they went up to 4x4 6, which is what they use currently for junior and senior. And then obviously the NLL is even bigger than that, 4x4 9. So
Right.
essentially in the same year, I was playing on 3 different size nets, seeing shots. So I do think that first year in Boston where I didn't dress or I didn't play, and seeing shots all winter on the biggest net and smaller gear, obviously the plastic stick with the NLL instead of a wooden goalie stick in the summertime. It definitely helped me kind of going back to summer lacrosse and going to the bigger nets for junior that following year. And then as I started dressing in the NLL and getting playing time, you start to get a feel for kind of where you got to be in the net to put it as simply as possible is not just angles, but your actual kind of position of your feet in the net and all that kind of stuff definitely comes with experience. And obviously you start to learn players' tendencies you're playing against and what they like to do against you specifically or against other goaltenders. And yeah, it all goes hand in hand with trying to develop and get better as a player and as a goalie.
Now, Inside Lacrosse, as we mentioned before, has you listed as number 3, best goalie in the NLL. Personally, I feel as though you were ripped off the last 2 years of Goalie of the Year awards because you were outstanding all year long, especially this past year. There was no one even close to you goals against and minutes and all the rest of the stuff. I know that you're only into team wins and the other stuff is nice, but really would be nice to get one of those in your pocket because I really think you deserve it.
Yeah, I guess you kind of answered that there. I honestly, it's great to be in the conversation with top goalies in the world and being nominated and all that. I don't know how many times I've been nominated, probably 3 or 4 times now, but couldn't care less about it. I think that's more for the media and obviously fans enjoy it, but the only thing I'm focused on is making sure I'm playing that well or better at the end of the year this next season, and haven't been able to do that yet to kind of maintain that level. So I got to find a way to be able to do that individually to kind of help us get over the hump. So yeah, an award would be great, but unless it comes with a championship, then I don't really care, to be quite frank about it.
Hopefully your team picture be with both, right? One and one, right?
Yeah, I'll take that for sure.
Now, you've also been a goalie that has set yourself aside because you're the only one I know that has scored 3 goals in your career. I've been lucky enough to be there for all 3 of them because I was in Rochester for that one as well as the couple in Toronto. Let's talk about just how this comes about. You got guys going their whole career and never scored a goal, and here you have 3 of them.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it is kind of pure luck, to be honest with you. Like we obviously when those happened, our team was in a position where we were up a goal or 2 late in the game. I think the first one against Buffalo, I think that was the year after the championship run we lost, where we kind of started off slow, and that was our first win of the season. And I think I just didn't have an outlet pass to make, so I was running out of time in the crease with the ball, and they had the empty net, and I just decided to throw it down the floor, and it went in, and was obviously a cool moment. The fans kind of love that stuff, but I'm not looking to do that too often. Obviously. The next year, obviously, having 2 in 1 year was kind of cool, but again, kind of same situation where up a few goals late and trying to put the game away, and maybe didn't necessarily have a pass to make, or I just had in my head just to launch it and try and score, and it worked out. But I don't even think since that year I scored 2, I don't think I've had a shot on an empty net, but I'm not sure, to be honest with you. So not something I'm looking to do all the time. It's cool, I'm sure, to look back on, but hopefully
nemesis teams too, right? Rochester and Buffalo. Just
that's always good too, to kind of put those games away. But yeah, that's all it comes down to, is hopefully if I'm in a position to be shooting at an empty net, then it probably means we're winning the game. So that's all that really matters.
Sure. Now, you talked about playing summer lacrosse. This year, you guys are playing Senior B. You just won the Senior B championship for Ontario Series Lacrosse. The big one's coming up next week, the President's Cup. Let's talk a little bit about that and the team that you've got, because in my eyes, you got yourselves an all-star team.
Yeah, we got a really good team. Obviously, with some of the drama in MSL the last couple of years, Jamie, who owns Oakville Rock as well, decided to kind of take a bit of a sabbatical from the MSL, and we've been in the Senior B loop since last year as well. And this year, a lot of guys that are NLL guys or NLL prospects wanted to kind of hop on board, knowing that we were hosting the President's Cup coming up, as you mentioned. And obviously, again, have a chance to win a national championship is an awesome experience, and have had a lot of fun with this group. And winning Ontario was cool. For me personally, meant a lot with kind of the original Orangeville and Northman lacrosse teams, the senior boys. They dominated Ontario in the 80s, won a few President's Cups as well. My dad was a part of those teams. So, it means a lot. To win a Prezi, especially here at the track, would mean so much and be such a fun experience to kind of cap off the summer with a great group of guys. But we do recognize that it's gonna be an extremely tough grind of a tournament for every team. Every team's real good. There's no easy games whatsoever, and playing 7 games in 6 days potentially is not even sure how that works for some guys. Trying to stay healthy and all that, knock on wood, but it's going to be a fun experience, and really hoping we can find a way to win it, because it would mean a lot to a lot of people around here.
Tell us a little more about your dad.
He was born in Jamaica. He came over to Orangeville in the 70s, and or maybe even the early 80s, and to live with his aunt and uncle, who kind of got out of Jamaica at a time where Jamaica wasn't in a good place. So he moved to Orangeville, and then met my mom, who was from Orangeville, and Terry Sanderson actually, I think, kind of saw how good of an athlete he was at high school, phys ed or basketball or that kind of stuff, soccer in town, and asked him to come out for the lacrosse team and give it a shot. And he kind of took it and ran with it and loved it, and was a really good lacrosse player. And then, funny enough, he started working at the arena in Orangeville where they played, and then gradually kind of got up to become the general manager at the arena, similar to kind of what I do here at the track. He won some President's Cups with those guys, and then unfortunately passed away when I was 2 years old. And it's been tough without him, but everybody that talks about him says he was a great guy, great athlete. And obviously, I'm very entrenched in the Northman history, kind of connected to it all with him, especially with the arena being named after him now.
Yeah, I didn't want people to forget or not realize that family also goes outside of lacrosse. There's actual family that contributes to whatever successes we have or any loves and desires and aims that we have, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, definitely always think about him when I'm playing, and then obviously think about my mom as well, who has always been there for me, and it's been me and her most of my life. So yeah, no, any chance you get to kind of motivate yourself with family is important.
Yeah, let's highlight mom too. I wasn't trying to. I wasn't trying to give dad more credit. Essentially, family is real important in lacrosse among the players, coaches, and everybody involved in the game. But there's also family that make it possible for players like you to grow and to achieve the dreams that they have.
Yeah, no, definitely. Without family and close friends, would make it real tough on any of us to kind of be doing this, especially how the NLL is set up. Obviously, playing mostly weekends and takes away time from your friends and family. But having that kind of support system throughout your career is a key to kind of doing this long term.
Now, in the track, following in Dad's footsteps, really, you wore a lot of hats since that thing has been built. You've been there since the beginning. Let's talk about some of the positions, Chad. You're up at general manager now and taking care of all the day-to-day things as well as booking events in there. But let's talk about just as you got in there. I believe it was night manager at one point, and then kind of working your way through there.
Yeah, no, it's been a fun ride for sure. It's kind of funny because when I first got traded to the Rock, I really didn't know Jamie that well yet. But after a couple months, just kind of before the following season, obviously played a few games, and then the playoffs when I first got traded here. But before the next season, he kind of called me because I was out in BC. Still, I went back for the summer to play out there, and he kind of called me. He was like, "Hey, like, are you looking for work? Like when we get into the NLL season, I'm building this facility, and I need somebody to kind of work at nighttime when our rentals were going on." So he had some other staff in place, a manager, daytime manager during the or at the time for doing bookings and that kind of stuff, and he just needed somebody to kind of just be here and supervise the facility when other people were here renting here. So um, I think I did that for I'd be guessing probably 3 or 4 years, maybe 5, and then our general manager at the time she decided to step away for a different opportunity, and it just kind of got to the point where obviously the hours of work, just working from like 4 till midnight every night, was starting to kind of take its toll, and I wanted to focus more on the lacrosse side of things and get a better work schedule and that kind of stuff. So I approached Jamie about the general manager role, and um, he was all for it and very supportive, and have been in this role ever since. And it's been awesome to kind of work with our great staff. We got obviously a lot of different departments here for the Rock team, and then as well as the facility, we have a few different areas that we kind of look after and trying to grow successfully. So while it's all one big family, there's definitely a few different hats that I wear, and lots of people wear around here to kind of make sure the wheels keep in motion well over here.
Well, that place really has been really the cog that's revitalized minor lacrosse in Oakville, between the elite leagues and some of the other things in there, let alone all the rentals of other things that go on. It really has been the hub of everything.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people probably don't want to say it for whatever reasons, but it's the hub of Ontario lacrosse. People can say what they want, but without Jamie and without him building this place, who knows where the game of lacrosse is at in Ontario, and even at our level in NLL. We've got lots of guys that have come through our Rock Elite League program that are now in NLL, that have done many clinics and camps here. We've obviously hosted a lot of provincial championships and the junior NLL event, which is awesome for outsiders. And Yeah, without Jamie in this place, I truly believe we wouldn't be anywhere near the level we're at in Ontario with where the state of the game is at this time.
Sure.
And the draft.
And the draft as well. But when
Yeah.
he built that, he was taking a risk because it had never been done. You'd used arenas here, there, Iroquois Lacrosse or wherever to have practices. Now there's a central hub just off the QEW for a lot of the teams to have a lot of the guys, so they have practices when they normally wouldn't. But you also have this facility that this blueprint that other teams and other places will now build because of this. So he really put it all into one basket, and came out shining like a diamond. But the place itself is spectacular. I remember the first tour once it was built, and it was like state of the art everything. And you guys have the opportunity anytime to come in and work and do things, and which is unheard of. It was never done before.
Yeah, no, it's definitely our home base for the Rock, but even further to that, we do have some groups that kind of rent from us, like two soccer groups that are here year round. Obviously, Oakville Minor has a big presence here as well, and then we run our own programming, which has been great to see a lot of kids from Ontario and kind of grow up here. And yeah, the hope would be that every NLL team has a place like this in a decade from now would be probably a bit too quick for that, but hopefully some other NLL teams start kind of taking this blueprint and doing it to help grow the game where they're at, because we've seen it here, and it's only getting bigger and better here. And yeah, like I said, truly grateful to kind of be a big part of the facility side here. And yeah, I mean, we definitely other teams get to kind of benefit from this place during training camp. Last couple of weeks I've been booking a bunch of teams in for November for practice and exhibition games and that kind of stuff. So I think a lot of the other NLL teams know kind of how awesome this place is, and hopefully they take it and run with it to build their own as well.
I suppose the investment's a little. Oh, sorry. I suppose the investment's a little bit tough, but the upside is it's self-supporting, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with our own programming and rentals and stuff, we do run it as a business. But I'd be guessing at whether Jamie's anywhere near making his money back on this place or not. But I don't know if that's really why he built it in the first place. Like I think he knew the investment it would be for our team first and foremost. Obviously, like Gary said, guys can come work out in the gym here. Can our strength coach Sean Holmes kind of runs this place or runs the gym as his own business, but our players kind of get to benefit from working out with him. And then yeah, during the day, the turfs are pretty open for guys to come in and shoot, work on their shot, work on their passing, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, heading towards the season, I'll start kind of taking shots from some of the guys a few times a week and getting ready for that all season. So it's been a huge advantage that way to make sure we're sharp for each season. So
you also have that new physio place too. So injury rehab is right there at the same spot too. So it's basically a one-stop shop.
Yeah, that's going to be this is going to be our first NLL season with the Sports Medic Clinic. Just got built. It's been awesome. It's super cool to kind of see our the transformation from it was just like a smaller meeting room, and now it's a full-on clinic, which seems to be getting busier by the day here. So if anybody in the GTA, I should give them a shout out to if you need physio help, come to the Toronto Rock Sports Medic Clinic, because some great people there, and they'll be taking care of us this winter.
Any other stuff you want to tell us about that we haven't mentioned about the facility?
Good question. We've seemed to be heading towards a real busy time for us. We got a bunch of great events coming up. Obviously, you mentioned the draft. We got the NLL draft back here on the 16th of September. We have the President's Cup coming up, as mentioned too. Games kind of going all day from this Sunday through Labor Day weekend. Trying to think what else. No, we're always busy. So if anybody wants to come by and check things out, somebody will be here. You'll probably run into a Rock player or two. So yeah, no, this place is awesome. Hopefully more people kind of keep coming to it.
I just want to take the time to thank you for taking your time with us. It's been an awesome, quick hour. And wish you the best of luck in the President's Cup. Wish you the best of luck with the upcoming Rock season. And in your future as probably a GM somewhere in the NLL. So thank you again, Nick.
No, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for the talk. That was great. And I'm sure I'll see you at the Prezi, Gary. And Frank, thanks a lot. We'll chat soon.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you for doing this, Nick. Really appreciate it. Gary as well.
Thanks, guys.
I'm Candid Frank Stanisci. Thank you for watching NLL Lacrosse Talk, seen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. Today was a special version on Monday. This show can also be heard on the Spanglish World Radio Network. For Lacrosse Talk, news, entertainment, and other sports programming we offer, please check out spanglishworld.ca and check out YouTube, Candid Frank Stanisci 1030. Spanglish World. Watch it, hear it, read it, download it, live it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Pick up a stick sometime. You might really love it.